dann super dufte neuen Song aus dem Sägezahnzyklus und all diejenigen, die schon gegessen haben und ihre Weißdinge trinken, rumduckeln, sollten endlich mal ihre Nachschubwege und sich auf die Tanzfläche bewegen. Und nun geht es los.
You are listening to Däs Bündesliga Show on the Lock Betting Podcast. You can follow Lock Betting on X at Lock Betting X. That's at Lock Betting X. If you look at the top of that account, the pinned tweet is always the P&L from the previous month. I do need to swap the month of August for the month of September. I'm just inundated with work at the moment. So once my workload drops a little bit, I can get around to doing the write-up for the P&L that always goes with it. Obviously, the P&L is up to date, but I need to do the write-up, and that will be getting changed to the month of September, which was the 124th month in a row of transparent track profit. If you want to see all the other old previous spreadsheets, then just head over to the website, lockbetting.com. I actually encourage people to always do that research, do the extra research, do the due diligence, because one of the things you'll notice when you look through spreadsheets is how we manage a bankroll. No stupid chaser plays. So if we lose a 1 unit play, we don't get a 2 unit play. We don't go up to 5 units or 10 unit maxes or whale plays or play of the year stuff. Usually our max is 1 unit. And if we go higher than that, it's usually a futures play. So as you'll see on the spreadsheet, it's responsible bankroll management and responsible bankroll management that's led to a profit every single month so far for 124 months. We're looking for month number 125 in the month of August. We begin this Bundesliga show by looking at the game here between Augsburg and Darmstadt. Well, Augsburg are the 8-11 favourites. It's 29-10 on the draw, and it's 7-2 here on Darmstadt. The over is what we are looking at here, and over 2.5 goals being available at 4-6 minus 150 does seem to be like a little bit of an oversight, because I just don't see how there won't be goals here in this game. Darmstadt are a newly promoted team and are returning a monstrous total of, on that most monstrous average of 4.67 goals per game from their opening 6 games. 5 of those have crossed the over 3.5 goals mark, and we only need over 2.5 here to cash this selection, or this lean. Augsburg have been beaten in all 3 of their away days, but they're at home here, and at home they've earned 1 win and 2 draws in front of their own supporters, scoring 8 goals in those 3 games and shipping 7. That's a 4-4 draw, a 2-2 draw, and a 2-1 success. Every single one of those games has gone over 2.5 goals. So I don't know how they arrived at 4-6 minus 150, but I'm happy to take it. So that's going to be your selection here for this game. Over 2.5 goals in this game between Augsburg and Darmstadt. Definitely in lot contention for the end of the show, because as I said, looking at that data, it doesn't really make sense, and I'm happy to take advantage of that situation. Up next, we move on to the game here between Borussia Dortmund and Union Berlin, where Borussia Dortmund are the 4-6 favourites. It's 16-5 on the draw, and it's 15-4 here on Union. This is another minus 150 play that I'm all over here, because I don't see why Dortmund are being offered up at this price. I understand that they were close in the league table last season, and Union have qualified for the Champions League, but prior to their midweek game, they had suffered 5 straight defeats. So this team has regressed as people expected, whilst Dortmund, they're still undefeated at home. They couldn't get over the line against Milan, but ultimately this is a formidable team at home who haven't lost on their own patch since the start of the 2022 season. So we ride that home record here with Dortmund, and we take them on the money line against a regressing Union Berlin. Up next, we jump down to the 5:30 kickoff with Werder Bremen at home to Hoffenheim. Werder Bremen are the narrow 7-5 favourites. It's 8-5 on Hoffenheim and it's 14-5 here on the draw. The selection for this game would be to take a lean on Hoffenheim, but really to look at BTTS as our main choice for this game, as I don't really see a clean sheet from either one of these two teams. Now, BTTS is juiced at 8-15. We could take that, but I'm happy to tack on the over 2.5 goals instead, which gives us the better price of 8-11. Hoffenheim have won 4 of their last 5 league games, and Hoffenheim and BTTS as a selection is available at 5-2 plus 250. That includes all 3 away trips so far. They've managed just 1 clean sheet, though, in the Bundesliga this season, and the meet of Werder Bremen side, who have scored in each of their last 4. So if you think Hoffenheim are going to win, which the data suggests they might, and if you just need Werder Bremen to score to contribute towards that over, Werder Bremen have the data to do that, seeing as they have scored in each of their last 4. So we take over 2.5 goals and BTTS as our main lean, with the thought in our head that Hoffenheim will win this game, with also a small lean on Hoffenheim and the BTTS, which is available around about plus 250, plus 260. Up next, we move on to Sunday slate and we look at our absolute favourites here. It's Bayer Leverkusen and they're at home to Cologne, where Leverkusen are the 1-3 favourites. It's 19-4 on the draw and it's 9-1 here on Cologne. Out of the 5 locks we've cashed in our 5-1-1 record in the Bundesliga so far this season, 4 of them have been on this Leverkusen machine. And I don't really want to get off the train. I see Leverkusen winning this game and winning this game comfortably against a Cologne side who are having a very poor season and are 1 place off the bottom. Leverkusen head into this weekend as the joint top scorers in the Bundesliga, hitting 20 goals across 6 games. They've scored at least 3 times across their 4 home games so far this season. And I'm in between riding that data for a team total of over 2.5 or taking Leverkusen to cover the minus 1.5 Asian handicap line. I'm going to go for the minus 1.5 Asian handicap line because you probably will need Leverkusen to score 3 anyway to win this. But there is a possibility that Leverkusen may take their foot off the gas and just win this game 2-0, because I do think they're in for a comfortable afternoon against a team who have already lost 5 matches this season. But I do think either play does cash. The hosts are averaging 4 goals per home game this season and 3.33 per match overall. So I think a comfortable win is on the cards here. Leverkusen managed to rest some key players in their Europa League game, including Victor Boniface. He'll be back for this one. He's in form. Boniface has scored 6 goals in 6 Bundesliga games this season, and he scored 5 times across Leverkusen's last 3 home matches in all competitions. So I think everything points to Leverkusen, and despite the fact the team total has cashed for us before, we will move off it for this game and instead we'll take the Asian handicap at the price of 10-11 minus 110. Final game we will cover, and it's almost an automatic that we get Bayern Munich on. It's Bayern Munich at home to Freiburg, where they're the 1-7 home favourites. It's 8-1 on the draw, and it's 18-1 here on Freiburg. We'll go back to our tried and tested here from a few years back, or it kind of fell apart towards the end of last season because Bayern Munich weren't the same team. But I think we can go back to the tried and tested of Bayern Munich and over 3.5 goals. Usually for this to cash, you would want a Freiburg contribution, but Bayern Munich don't really keep clean sheets, so we could definitely get it. Bayern are yet to be beaten in the Bundesliga this season, but they have been conceding and have managed just 1 clean sheet in 5 games at the Allianz Arena, shipping 9 goals in total, whilst Freiburg have scored in 9 of their 11 meetings with Bayern and in 7 of their 9 games across all competitions. So we could get that Freiburg contribution, which massively helps us to the over 3.5. Or Bayern could just score 4 goals by themselves, because Bayern have scored 20 goals in just 6 Bundesliga games, but have conceded 6 themselves, with, as I mentioned, Freiburg hitting 7 goals in their 6 games. So I'm going to go for Bayern, and I'm going to take the over 3.5 goals, the old tried and tested Bayern Munich play that was so successful for us for so many seasons. We go back to the well this time, and that one is available at the price of 10-11 minus 110. Closing out with your lock on the show, Very, very tempted to just take the first game we covered. Augsburg versus Darmstadt was here for a reason. But given that this show is going out just an hour and a half before the game kicks off, I don't want people complaining at me. So if you're listening to the show, know that I am very high on the play. But also know I'm not ready to step off the Leverkusen train. I'm ready to back the Bayer Leverkusen machine again, and that's what we are going to do. We are going to take Bayer Leverkusen to cover the minus 1.5 Asian handicap line in this game at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110. Confident about it given the number of goals Leverkusen have scored so far. 20 goals scored in 6 matches and they've only conceded 6. So a clean sheet is a possibility, which is why we lean towards that selection over the team total. Mons played yesterday and managed to get themselves off the bottom. So Cologne actually do go into this game bottom of the table with 1 point from 6 games and 5 defeats. They've only managed to score 4 goals and have conceded 11 times. So because they're also averaging less than 2 goals conceded per game, there's not a guarantee that they're going to get blitz here, but they don't offer much in front of goal, which is why they've only scored 4 in 6. So I do feel safer with the Asian handicap this time around, although I do think that given Leverkusen's goal average for their home games being over 4, I do think we'll get to that over 2.5 team total anyway. So it was very, very 50-50 for me what we did with the lock. All I really knew was I wanted to carry on having a part of what has been an ATM cash point for us so far with Leverkusen, and I've landed on Leverkusen to cover the minus 1.5 Asian handicap line as your lock on this show, available at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110. That's it for me in this edition of Däs Bündesliga Show. Good luck with all of your bets as always, and thanks for listening.